Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago. 224 446. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you?
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine. Your host, Avi Meyer, and the greatest cameraman of all, Sonny Hersh.
Hi, Avi Meyers here, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hersh and myself. Dial us up on the World Wide Web at www.ntnm.org. You can catch all our shows live on the web after they appear on all the different stations. Get involved in CAPS by going to caps24.org. And this is now the official beginning of the aldermanic mayoral political season. And for our first round, we're going in alphabetical order. And with the that would be as simple as ABD, which is AFTAB, Brewer, and Dolar, except that AFTAB had accepted and was able and dropped out last second. You'll also notice that by the time the next segment's on, my hair will be different because we're filming a different day and I'm getting a haircut tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot, Marty. I appreciate that. It is a pleasure now to introduce you to one of our challengers in this year's 50th Ward Aldermanic election, Greg Brewer. Greg, how are you?
Good, very good. Thanks for having me.
First of all, thank you. Why don't you tell us something about yourself?
Well, I live, how many yards from you did you decide? Just around
you're
the
about
corner?
a block and a little bit of change. You're at the corner, so it's really a little tiny bit more than a whole block.
More, but very close by. My wife and I have lived here in the neighborhood for just about the last 6 years. I've lived in the city most of the last 30-some years since starting college in '75. So working my way north and finding the place I wanted to stay and become part of.
Okay. And tell us what you do for a living.
I'm an architect. I do planning, primarily healthcare facilities. I've been working on sort of campus plans, long-range planning, institutional master plans, that type of work, which is part of what got me involved in kind of local related issues here in the ward, zoning, development, and so on.
Mm. So, okay, so basically, it's got to be a big job to run for alderman.
It is. I will not deny that. And so between now and the election, it's going to be a full-time job, more than full-time. But it's, I've got a great team of people supporting me in that, and I'm doing it every day myself. But it is quite a job.
What made you decide to run?
Well, as I said, over the 6 years that we've been living here, was looking for ways to get more and more involved in the community.
Oh, this will involve you, that's for sure.
And well, this will involve me, and through some of those other involvements, especially as I said, with some local zoning development issues, people started encouraging me to run for alderman, and I realized that that with my background as an architect, planner, project manager, that I really had the right skills and experience to offer the ward, and that this was in fact the best way for me to serve my community and do something good for my neighborhood.
Yeah, so you don't need to be a lawyer to be alderman.
No, you don't.
In fact, lawyers are their own problem, that's for sure. So what do you got? So okay, how do you campaign? How do you do this?
Well, it's there are many ways, and we don't choose among them. We do them all. So I'm going to be out door to door. Volunteers are out door to door. You'll see mail. There'll be phone calls. Every other thing. Maybe go on a few TV shows.
Okay,
that's a good way
to
but
meet people. And
I've
had stuff put in my mailbox already from you guys.
Yes. Well, being in my own precinct here, but also. It's not simply me running a campaign. As I said, it's me and my campaign staff and a couple hundred volunteers. So it'll become quite a big effort over the next 7 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you see as the issues? I mean, what are you campaigning on?
Well, at the sort of very basic issues, I really want to see a change in just the approach toward government and city government, more open, more inclusive, accountable, bring some professionalism to it instead of just favors and political considerations, and have an alderman who's much more involved, engaged with the community, and really listening to what the community cares about and needs.
Okay. Are there specific issues that you're looking at, or?
Well, there are. As I said, there are issues that were of importance to me personally that started me in this direction, and those, in part, are connected to my professional experience around zoning, planning, development, but also, in talking to people throughout the ward, are all of the issues of schools, taxes, public safety. I make the CAPS meetings when I can, both hours here in 2412, but also 2411 and 13. I know that. I can't make them all like you guys, but I get there when I can, and I think the alderman should be part of that as well.
By the way, I don't make them all either. You're probably not at the same ones I'm not at.
I know, that may be. But so all of those issues are important to people in the ward. I think one of the things that connects them is that we've got a great community here. It does have issues, it does have challenges for the future, and we really need to work together as a community, and by that I mean all parts of the 50th Ward community, which is very diverse, as we all know.
Extremely diverse.
And to bring those different groups together to really plan for the future of the ward, and rather than let things happen or look at everything in isolation, to really have a sense of what's great about the neighborhood that we want to keep, what needs to be improved, what needs to be fixed, and how we're going to get there. And as alderman, to be out in front of that and be accountable to the people for doing what I say I'm going to do, and and being ready to listen and answer to them.
Yeah, I can't smile too much because I'm going to the dentist afterwards, folks. I'm missing a tooth. By the way, I do want to thank Owen Bra, who brought you here today, that I've been communicating with, who's been great about keeping us in contact and making sure we hit the schedule to get you on the show. We want to tell people what the boundaries are of the board?
Well, the very broad boundaries are Peterson on the south to Howard, the city limit on the north, Ridge on the east to Kedzie on the west. At the southwest corner of the ward, we have a section, Peterson Park, and those neighborhoods that between Devon and Peterson that run out to 3700 West. So in general, though, it's that Peterson, Howard, Ridge, Kedzie, plus that extension, with a little corners cut out here and there around the edges.
Well, that's true.
That's the broad outline.
Hey, this is Chicago. You got to.
I'm not going to list every street, but Glen Lake, Granville, but it's a good it's a good size ward, 60-some thousand residents, and of all different backgrounds and economic means, and people with kids, people without, and so everyone has their own individual concerns, but we really have many things in common that we need to work on together.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how many doors do you think you can knock on during? Have you made a guesstimate about it, or I know it's a weird question.
Literally thousands.
Okay.
There are 22,000 some registered voters. Take that down to households, maybe say it's half of that.
Okay.
But between myself and volunteers, we'll knock on every single door, we hope.
Yeah, you're saying you got a couple hundred volunteers?
Well, I got an updated list just this morning, and the currently active volunteers it's getting to be a big number, and we're expecting some more as we move on. Some from neighbors and people inside the ward, and others from groups supporting me from outside as well. So,
is it expensive to run for alderman?
It is. I think it probably gets more expensive with every election.
Okay.
I haven't
gone
back
keeps getting bigger. I mean, it used to be like $12,000 once upon a time. So.
Well, it's I think it's a big responsibility. It deserves to be a full-time job, and I don't think you run to. It's not like a long job interview to get a salary, because much more is spent on the campaign than certainly a year's salary. But that's just what it takes. It's because all of these ways of contacting voters, getting the message out, connecting with people, can be costly, whether it's mail or phones or whatever. But that's just part of getting the message out and letting people know what I'm talking about, what I stand for.
Yeah, do you have an office?
We do. We recently, right at the beginning of December, opened a campaign office on Western, 6965 Northwestern, just south of Lunt.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know the hardware store across the street.
Oh, sure.
And the new Jesse's Mexican restaurant across the street. We'll probably send a lot of volunteers there.
I'm sure
that's
Jesse won't mind.
So it's a good location. It's people, obviously a busy street, and a lot of people are by and notice the sign and come in to talk to us. Although I haven't been there a lot, but they come in and talk, and I hear about it.
So, okay. That's right on the corner? That's south of the hardware store, north of the hardware store?
It's really like directly across the street from the hardware store.
Oh, it's
a
on
little
the
building.
side with the Mike's restaurant and all that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So it's been a
so
good
there's like an
location for
Assyrian
us.
thing over there, and there's a flower shop over there, or something like that?
It's a great little 2 blocks in the neighborhood with the kinds of small
you got
businesses
the
that are
thing
there.
over there. Like I said, I'm a walker.
If we had more blocks like that, we've the flower shop, the restaurants, the cafe, the hardware store. Those are the kind of businesses a neighborhood needs, and so it's a good spot for us to be right now for the campaign office.
As a matter of fact, I try without mentioning this specifically. I do my best to plug. I mean, not to plug, but I can't plug anything on the show that's money. But to patronize neighborhood businesses as opposed to chains. I always like the small mom and pop places as opposed to like you won't catch me in a chain place if I can go to the mom and pop place.
Yeah, and we've got a few good ones that have opened up recently. I hope they do well. I mean, we want to see Western and Devon and Toohey and all of those be good neighborhood business districts for us.
So how many hours? I mean, is this like you work 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day at this, 8 hours a day? I mean, you're really going to start the full-time campaign now. So do you know, or?
Well, yes, I would say, up until now, I've in effect had 2 full-time jobs. So a lot of nights and weekends, but I think. It's just all waking hours is probably the way to describe it.
Okay. Well,
and then dreaming about it in my sleep. Yeah. So it's we've got 7 weeks until the election. There's a lot of people to talk to and a lot of work to do, and that's how you make it happen. So that's what I'll do. I'm very committed to doing this. When I made the decision, I didn't. This isn't something I'm doing just to get out and make some noise and make a point. I mean, I got in this to win and make a real difference here.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So petition-wise, you just out of curiosity, how many petitions did you get? I don't keep track of these things.
I think it was 1,570 something, or I forget the exact number, even though Owen's trying to tell me.
About 3,000? No, you can talk, Owen. It's 1573. Okay, thanks.
I was pretty close. I was within 3.
I have Sonny talk too during the show. Don't worry.
But. Again, we collected the majority of those
and you
petitions.
needed like 150.
Well, the legal requirement is quite low. It's a percentage of votes in the previous similar election, and so it's 152 or 154. But
so you covered yourself very nicely.
Oh yeah, and we did the majority of those by going door to door, talking to people, not standing on a corner looking for mass collection.
Well, that's good,
but going
because that
out
way
and
you know that
knocking.
people actually live in the area and you've reached somebody from the area.
Well, you do a lot of things. You get a signature on the petition, which is good. You meet somebody and tell them about the campaign, and they know that you're willing to come to their door and talk to them. So there's goodwill. There's a lot of practical things, but it's a big exercise, that petition drive, as you can tell from. Filing day a few weeks ago when everyone was there with stacks of petitions.
Well, I wasn't there, but
I
ran as a delegate for Gene McCarthy in '72, but I didn't even file then. The McCarthy people took our stuff in. So I can't tell you I've ever been standing in line, but I hear it's an experience. At this point, why don't you give people the basic information, that your campaign headquarters address, the phone number, email, website, and all that stuff, because we're running out of time?
Well, the easy to remember things are, I'm Greg Brewer, and the website is gregbrewer.org. The campaign office is at, as I said, 6965 Northwestern. Stop in almost any time. Somebody's there from early morning till late evening. Any help and support we're happy to have. Lots of information on the website, so please do take a look at gregbrewer.org.
And is there a phone number people can call? Or
if I can remember it.
You can say, Owen, please say it real quick. We're 773-559-5848. Greg Brewer, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you,
luck,
Avi.
and we'll